Alrighty, I'm going to be refuting Ellie's claims here. She first stated that legalized brothels will control the spread of STDs. Through all my research, I plan to look through other areas that have legalized brothels and find out where, how much the STD percentages are in these areas. In a report by the Zinhu News Agency on April 5th, 2006, the Netherlands began to see high rises in sexually transmitted diseases, especially in the high-populated cities where brothels are located. The number of Dutch citizens tested HIV positive increased by an alarming 22% from 2004 to 2005 in a report published by the Dutch health agency RIVM. The study by RIVM also found that the number of chlamydia cases in the country rose by 15% in 2005 as well. And the Dutch health minister has invested over $1.65 million for an expansion project to increase STD testing. So in Netherlands, Amsterdam, they have legalized brothels there, and you can see that it's really not stopping the control of the spread of not stopping the control of the spread of STDs. And in Nevada, there's a report by Christina Schamberg of the Night Rider Tribune News, and she quotes from Melissa Farley, who is an anti-prostitution activist and researcher, who released a scathing study of Nevada's prostitution industry. In her book, Prostitution and Trafficking in Nevada, she went and did extensive interviews with 45 prostitutes in 8 brothels in Nevada. And she states that what happens in these places is sexual harassment, sexual exploitation, and sometimes rape. Despite the claims to the contrary, legal prostitution does not protect women from the violence, verbal abuse, physical injury, or diseases such as HIV that occur in illegal prostitution. Farley states that she talked to numerous prostitutes that knew women who tested positive for HIV in these brothels, and who were quietly fired, and their status was never reported to state health authorities because no brothel owner wants the idea of a worker of their own having an STD as a bad rep for them. This means that prostitutes were never reported to the state could go on and get another job at another brothel and transfer more STDs to other men. And they also could have infected some of their clients from the previous brothel where they were fired from. She also talks about how legalized brothels would help with increasing the wealth of the economy by taxing and decriminalization. She talks about how Nevada's 25 or so brothels pulled in as much as $50 million in revenue. However, with the economy right now, George Flint, the director of the Nevada Brothel Owners Association, says takings at the state's worst hit establishments have slumped to 60 to 70% of these brothels, and even the top end ones have at least gone down 20%. So just because that we're going to be taxing these doesn't mean that people are going to be buying it, because of the recession right now, nobody's buying anything. Also, public opinion is turning. Also, Melissa Farley's research once again found that many of the women working in Nevada brothels had experienced homelessness or been abused as children. She points out that Nevada has one of the highest rates of sexual violence in the U.S., with 42 rapes per 100,000 people of population in 2007, compared with a U.S.-wide average of 30, and suggests that the tide of public opinion is turning. Now, the recession, the economic struggles going on right now could be just the cause of the lowering of money in the brothels, but also it also has to do with increased awareness of links between prostitution and trafficking going on in the U.S. My opponent also talks about it would keep prostitutes much more safer. However, in a Birmingham Post, May 29, 2009, called "The Police Free Six Hostages from Brothels." they're actually human traffickers. It happened in Ireland. It's 6 victims of human trafficking were rescued from brothels in Northern Ireland as police moved to smash a prostitution ring run by the Chinese mafia. All of the rescued women are said to be Chinese nationals who police believe were tricked to come to Northern Ireland on the promise of cleaning and nannying jobs. Also, 20 human trafficking victims have now been rescued in Northern Ireland in a little over a year. And this is saying that even with brothels in Ireland, women are not being protected. In the Daily News of Durban, May 26, 2009, it's talking about how South Africa wants to legalize prostitution. They go in and ask, and talk to the mayor of Amsterdam, Joe Cohen, and he admitted that the policy of legalization has been a failure and has instituted a reversal of what they thought it would. He conceded that organized crime dominated the industry in which sex trafficking, exploitation, drug abuse, and money laundering was rampant. 1/3 of the brothel windows have been bought out and replaced with fashion boutiques, and they're closing, and there are plans to replace the majority of the remaining windows. The mayor also admitted that the brothels had become a haven for traffickers, drug dealers, and it was unsafe for women. Also with trafficking, human trafficking, the United States Department of Health and Human Services did a rescue and restore campaign where they stated that the United States estimates that annually 14,500 to 17,500 people are trafficked for sex into the United States. And that's going on right now. If we legalize brothels, how much is this going to go up when brothels are legalized? As we legalize brothels, or I've seen in Australia, there also becomes an underground industry. So during the 2007 trial of Kovacs and his wife, Lolita, this is in Australia, and they pretty much brought in a Filipino woman that they did a sham marriage with to bring her to Australia to use her for sex trafficking. The woman was allegedly forced to work 17 hours a day in their takeaway shop and cleaning their home, and with no days off and little or no pay. She was also allegedly repeatedly sexually abused and raped before managing to escape in December 2002. What's time now?
None, you're out of time.